Launched in Amsterdam on the 25th February 2016, the European Social Innovation Competition is aimed to fund new business ideas that can support the integration of refugees and migrants. Business innovation can relate to any aspect of the reception and integration process, such as education, skills, employment, entrepreneurship, housing, health, safety, human rights, community cohesion, and cultural diversity. Building upon the successful collaboration with the Italian social enterprise La Polveriera, Marcel took part in the initiative. In Amsterdam, we met a new generation of business-aware social entrepreneurs. We saw a new approach to social investment emerging from the banking sector, and we realized once more how transparency sits at the core of risk mitigation to unlock trust and collaboration. This short video tries to disseminate through social media a tiny fraction of the immense energy that flowed during the presentation and workshops in Amsterdam. We want to reach out to potential partners to join forces with us, combining social innovation, open data, and smart city.
Is we need to train and mentor entrepreneurs so that they become attractive to investors, so that investors feel confident that when they take that risk, there's going to be a return, not only a financial return but a social return.
People are willing to take new challenges, new risks, leave their job, start new future, and of course we're in the middle of enormous development. And when I see all these people together, it gives me a very good feeling that we are heading to something very positive.
So from Amsterdam and what I'm seeing starting to happen in this sector, it's really quite exciting to involve capital in the conversation, because as many have said today, they need to think along, and we need to think of what are the kinds of instruments and what's the kind of information we need to actually take seriously our solutions for a better world, and to make that marketable, to make that investable, and to make that also something that sticks for the long term. So one of the tools that I found particularly useful is to be data driven in our decisions, to make it more transparent, to share with investors and social innovators what are the things that we're learning about failures, about risk, about opportunities, and also about the impact that actual innovations have.
We're here as a privileged winner of last year's competition, where we won for our innovation idea, social innovation idea, the Freebird Club. So I suppose to give you some background to that, the Freebird Club is a social enterprise, albeit a for-profit social enterprise, where our goal is positive social impact, particularly for older people, but also to be a very viable and financially sustainable business which can go on and scale and grow and have impact as broadly as possible.
One of the other things I'd like to add is actually, as somebody who did work in the finance industry, I find there's a huge amount of credibility that can be attached to these social innovations when they sit with people who understand capital, and they can think together about how to make transparent the measurement systems that lead to understanding, is this having impact, is this not, is this worth investing into, is this not.
The Freebird Club is a sharing economy model. It's building a peer-to-peer social travel and homestay club for older adults. It's a membership-based model where senior member guests can make their spare rooms available to fellow member hosts to come and stay for a nightly rate.
One example is our Investment Ready program, where we work with investors alongside with our social innovators to understand how to see things through the lens of each other. So this is one important thing also in understanding data, is how do we understand the language we use to interpret data. So for example, the investors learn how to look through the eyes of the social entrepreneurs, and the social entrepreneurs learn the 100 or so aspects of looking at due diligence to understand the language of the investors.
Okay, well I think a lot of people who are trying to do social good are operating in charity, not-for-profit environments, and there's almost a them and an us thing going on there, where they're charities, they're not about money, etc. And then over here you got the entrepreneurial startup culture, where it's all about venture capital and scary things like raising money and all of that. And traditionally they've been very, very diverse paths. And I think what's needed is to bridge that gap for people, and there's a lot of very good things out there to help bridge that gap. Like there's social impact investing, which is a new type of investing. There's incubators that are social impact incubators. There are things like the social innovation competition.
That's one thing that I would probably advise, is how do we educate each other, allow those opportunities to actually share experiences, because as you build relationship, you also build trust, and that helps to mitigate risk.
Getting people who are traditionally maybe do-gooders or trying to solve social problems to actually become more business-minded, not to play the capital game, but to get the interest of people who might want to invest in doing good, to get them on board in a way that they share not just this the notion of return on investment, but social return on investment.